Hi, my name is Gary Grant. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Institute of Licensing, and I'm a licensing barrister practicing from Francis Taylor Building in London.
We're at the National Pubwatch conference today, and you've taken us through some of the challenges facing the industry. Could you just give us an overview of that, please?
Sure. Well, most of them are going to arise from the government's plans to introduce a protect duty to try and reduce the risk of terrorist attack and casualties. That's going to become known as Martin's Law after one of the victims. And that's going to introduce a two-tier system for premises open to the public, a standard tier for premises with a capacity of 100 plus, and an enhanced tier for premises of 800 plus. It's expected that legislation is going to be introduced this spring 2023, initially for scrutiny, and it's going to place additional responsibilities and for the first time a legal duty for public venues, including just about all licensed premises, to take appropriate and proportionate steps that are reasonably practicable to reduce the risk of a terrorist attack, to take measures to try and deter them and train up their staff so they can better both prevent and respond to them. In addition to Martin's Law, the government also suggested that it's going to bring in a system called sensitive information for license applications, because you can immediately imagine that if someone could get hold of the detailed license plans that have to be attached to an application for a major public venue such as Manchester Arena, you can imagine that could be very useful material for bad actors. So the government proposes to bring in a system where that information, if it's sensitive, could be kept secret and not available for the public to view, but that will take a change to the Licensing Act. We also spoke today about laughing gas reforms or nitrous oxide. Seeing the disposed canisters and the balloons being used for people to inhale nitrous oxide is a fairly regular sight in the late night economy. The difficulty is that the simple possession of nitrous oxide is not a criminal offence. It's regulated under the Psychoactive Substances Act. And so the government, responding to media and people complaints about antisocial behaviour connected to the use of nitrous oxide, asked the Advisory Committee on the Misuse of Drugs Act to expedite its review on whether nitrous oxide enforcement and regulation should be increased so it becomes a prohibited drug in the same way as heroin, crack, cocaine and cannabis under the Misuse of Drugs Act. To the government's, I suspect, surprise, just yesterday, the 6th of March, the committee did report and said, no, we don't think it should be reclassified as a prohibited drug because the level of harm the science suggests it causes, both to the user as well as to society, isn't commensurate with bringing it within the big guns of the Misuse of Drugs Act. So it'll be interesting to see how the government responds. And we finally spoke about summary reviews and an interesting case where the courts held that summary reviews and steps taken under a summary review could follow merely from public nuisance issues and not simply crime and disorder. So that's a roundup of what we discussed at the National Pubwatch conference.